Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to another episode of KCPS Homeroom. I am Chris Odam. I'm excited today to have another visitor from my past and discuss with her some of the things that she may have uncovered back then when we were working in the classroom, me, the teacher, her, the student, and then perhaps how some of those pathways that started to emerge for her may have happened. That helps in some ways for young people to see that it can happen for you too. And that's one of the cool reasons we've been working on having shows like this. So let's jump right in and talk to Veronica Smotherson, who is a graduate of Paseo Academy and also one of the people I had the fortune to get to teach. And tell us, Veronica, a little bit about your path and start with what year you graduated from Paseo.
Sure. So I graduated in 2005 from Paseo. I was a creative writing major under you. So I had you as my teacher, and it was an awesome 4 years of high school with creative writing being my major. So after high school, directly after high school, I went to Lincoln University in Jefferson City. So I started there. I initially went to become a teacher. I wanted to become just a standard just teacher. I didn't have a preference in grade, and I wanted to major in special education as well. So I took some courses for teaching, and it was working out. I enjoyed the program, but then I started to have a change of heart. I knew I wanted to work with children, but I didn't feel that like direct instruction was for me. So I actually switched majors, and when I graduated with my bachelor's, I got that in a liberal arts degree. So I had emphasis areas in education, special education, and sociology. So with that, I
That's
knew
great.
I needed to do.
Great combination of things.
Thank you.
Right, the history of people over time and the evolution of how people work together. That's sociology, right? So I loved it too. That was I took classes weren't even part of my schedule or my major because
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
absolutely. So I think let's let you keep going, but really cool foundation to go into an educational field.
Yes. So with that degree, I knew I wanted to keep going. So I went for a master's. So directly after college, so I graduated in 2010. So it took me an extra year. It wasn't the standard four, it was five. But directly after that, I went for my master's in counseling. So I attended Lincoln again. I did that. I started that in 2010, and that was a 2 year program. So I graduated with a master's in education and guidance counseling. So during that time of me being in Jefferson City at Lincoln University, I was able to just check out different jobs. Like I worked for Boys and Girls Club in Jefferson City for a while. I was able to coordinate a program with the public library in Jefferson City. That was really neat. I got the chance to work with like surrounding school districts, the Jefferson City district, as well as just some of the rural areas around. And I coordinated a program pairing teens and kindergartners together during the summer, like a reading buddies program. So I was able to like really just dive in and check out different things, and whatever came to mind of like things I thought I wanted to do, I was able to try them out there.
Fantastic. Thank you for that narration and that you can feel your excitement in telling it, and that yeah, man, it keeps being more and more affirming to do these interviews and hear. I feel like just tiny like giving me those props at the beginning are so special, but giving a tiny little marble, just a tiny little nudge, and then it's been so long, and then I had nothing to do with anything that's happened since then, but just it's magical. I love hearing what you're pursuing and why, and the book clubs and the why do you think you're directed toward that work? Like,
Um, well,
what's been pulling you there?
I would say empathy, really empathy. I've always had a niche for just communicating with people, and I love life stories, and I love hearing people just tell me what makes them like. I love talking energy. Like, tell me about your energy. What's going on with you? And so I've naturally just gravitated to being like a problem solver of sorts and wanting to help people put the pieces together and make things work for them. So I think from education and then just some of my experiences, I was able to land in mental health, and that's where I'm at now.
That's such an important field, and more people are kind of becoming more open with their conversations about it in
Yeah.
2021. Even men and professional athletes and that nature are kind of having some leading those discussions. I've seen some of those interviews. I think yeah, it's extremely important and powerful. What's your role in there, kind of getting people to open up? Do you see that as kind of why is that happening or what's going on? You know?
I would say that just with society as a whole, we're starting to take off these layers that we have to be perfect. I think that just in general, it's time out for a facade. It's time out for putting on a mask and not being our authentic self. And I think because society is finally starting to grasp the concept of there's no real perfection. It's only real humans doing real things. I think that it's starting to become a more of an easier conversation, and the outlets are being open of just more mental health opportunities of just like different programming and different therapy that's not necessarily the stereotypical come talk on the couch approach.
Very cool. Thank you for that insight. It's kind of where these interviews become fun. Really not sure we're going to explore or what we're going to find out, but I love hearing your expertise and your insight. That I think that's the trick that I'm trying to find a way to pull out, and it's very easy on these interviews because again, I haven't seen you guys in forever, and you're so
I
full of
know.
expertise and insight. So um, let's wind back. Pretend for a moment you're back there in 4747 Flora, room 305,
Yeah.
and think like that student for a minute. What do you think they need to hear these days that might profit them? That you could, pay it forward for a minute here, and we can kind of make that kind of our culminating thoughts for this interview. But I know, well, I was in the teaching realm for 16 years, and some of the most powerful advice came from seniors to freshmen or from
Mhm.
people who had really, if they could do it again, would do something else or and almost wanted to drop that knowledge back to somebody having, you know, learned that.
Yeah.
No pressure. I'm giving you a little build up so you can think of what you might say. But what would you tell that younger person these days?
Say do it scared. Whatever it is, whatever frightens you, if you have a goal or whatever you would like to do, but you would think like, no, I can't do it. That's what you can't do. And anything that you want to accomplish, you can if you put the work in. And I think for me, I remember in high school, knowing that I could make a difference, knowing that I had potential to help others, but not necessarily showing that how I could have out of just, I don't know, fear of the unknown. So if I could go back and do it again, things that I wanted to accomplish or even try, not necessarily be successful, I would have just shot all my shots. I would have just did whatever it was that I was afraid to do.
That's fantastic. For me, it would be jump in the water and actually perform music somewhere. Because I don't know if, and I actually did after a few years. I played 4 times live in my whole career there in Kansas City before the place burned down. If you've ever heard of Davies Uptown in the middle of 33rd and Main, I think. But truly, 20 years of practicing in my basement. we're, we're not horrible, but
Right.
it does make you wonder, what if, and so
Absolutely.
that's kind of how I'm going to spend some of my weekend is just down there thinking all I really need is one song.
Right.
So
Right.
just get me started. So, hey, it's been really fun talking with you. And we've been kind of talking about some of the people you might know. And another thing to think about is if you know somebody else you think would like to come on and have this same experience, and that goes for people who are watching this show, please get a hold of me. I am Chris Odam at kcpublicschools.org. And I would certainly listen to your story, and we could talk about how you could come on and have a similar platform. Veronica, it's moving to hear what you're doing with your life. It's extremely important work.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud to have had any moment to have worked with you because of what you're carrying on your shoulders. And if it means anything to you, I'm still in it. I'm working for the same district. So please keep in touch. Let me know how things are going. If you ever want to
Absolutely.
team up on something,
Absolutely.
that's how we get more powerful as we get older. We just start teaming up with people, right? So
I appreciate it. And I definitely have to give you your flowers. Like creative writing for me has helped me, even in mental health, because I'm able to clearly describe and write notes that are directly to the point. And you have been a staple in my career as well as just higher education, um, writing papers. And
college,
everything I do is
college
writing
English.
extensive.
Now
So
it's coming.
for
Yeah,
you, you
early.
have tremendously impacted my career and my ability to communicate with the outside world. So I owe you
Mm,
a ton of thank yous and respect for what you have done and the impact that you definitely have made in my life. And I'm able to be as successful as I am because I can clearly communicate on paper. So thank you so much.
thank you so much for that. That'll get me going another 10 years.
You hang in there. I can't believe it. Like
20,
it's crazy.
22 years.
It's very weird. I feel like you have frozen in time.
Oh,
I have grown,
wait,
but
wait.
you look just the same. Oh, well, okay, a little different.
This is my time machine. All right. So on that note, Kansas City, it's been fantastic. This is Veronica Smotherson. She has
Thank
been
you.
a wonderful guest. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this morning. Have a great day.